Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Wendy, your one and only Magandita. If you don't know me, my channel is all about the vlogs, sharing some information, how to live here in Portugal as a foreigner like me. If you want to know anything about Portugal, please consider to like this video, subscribe, and smash that bell notification so you will never miss any vlog and tips like this with Magandita. And for today's video, it's been really exciting because it's one question that I've been receiving from that asking how is the life here compared to Middle East. If you don't know, I was living in Middle East for almost 7 years, so I think I have the right to make some video the life in Middle East versus the life here in Europe, particularly here in Portugal. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is all based on my own experiences. No haters, no judgments. It's just for fun and also some information that I have living in Middle East and also living here in Portugal. So the first things first, for the food, you all know I love to eat. Everybody does. I love to eat food. And the thing is, for the food in Middle East, the number one concern that I really miss when I land in Kuwait, I miss pork. Pork is forbidden, and all the things should be halal in Middle East, which is here in Portugal. Everything is here, so pork is everywhere. Actually, this is one of the food that I taste when I land here, except also the first is bacalhau. And the thing is also the pork. I eat so much the bacon, the lechon, we call it leitão or something. And so that's it. You can find pork here. You can never find pork in any unhalal meals in Kuwait. So that's the difference. That's, you know what I mean. If you are Filipinos, you are Asian who love to eat pork, you will understand what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So the second differences for Middle East and then Europe. In Middle East, public display of affection, or we call it PDA, is prohibited. Yes, because it's like, I know if it's true, but they said you can go to jail if you're having kissing, hugging, you know what I mean? Public display of affection is not allowed in Middle East, which is here in Portugal. This is really completely free country. This is what I noticed. Of course, living in Middle East for almost 7 years, it makes me somehow culture shock when I move here in Portugal, because everywhere I can see some couple hugging, kissing everywhere, in a subway, on a bus, whatever. So for some seconds I was like, okay, yeah, I forgot I am in a free country in Portugal. So that's the difference. Public display of affection is totally different in Middle East and also in Europe. And the next thing is, of course, the cost of living. The cost of living between Middle East and Portugal. In Middle East, it's kind of expensive. All the things are actually, many things are really expensive because, as you know, Middle East are suffering, not really suffering, but of course the weather in Middle East is really hot. Is it true that you can cook like eggs outside by itself outside, because sometimes the temperature it reach 50 degrees Celsius, which is really huge. So that's why there's not so much plantation of many things, especially the vegetables, the meat, or there's so many things they are importing from different countries, like in Europe. From Europe, actually, they are importing many things. So it is kind of expensive, the cost of living there, the food mainly. Where But here in Portugal, in Europe, it is way more cheaper, the cost of living, because you know, especially here in Portugal, they are planting many things. The vegetables is so fresh, the fruits you can find it really fresh, and also the meat, and because they are producing many things here in Portugal. So that is the difference. Cost of living much cheaper in Portugal than in Middle East. So that's what my conclusion. Another thing is transportation between Middle East and Portugal. Believe it or not, I spend so much money in transportation in Kuwait and also in Qatar, because there is no something like social pass unlike here. So I always ride a taxi. When I was in Qatar, whenever I go to malls or going to work, I'm spending like at least 15 Qatar Riyal. If I'm not mistaken, it is like 4 euro or something every trip, which is really expensive. I know, because if I'm gonna spend all of this, I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Unless here in Portugal I have a card, public transportation card, which is only 40 euro unlimited for all public transportation. Okay, there is a public transportation in Middle East. Actually, I never been tried public transportation in Qatar, because when I was in Qatar, Kuwait, I've been experiences once, not once, but few times only experience to ride on a bus, but I had a horrible experience because someone touched my butt, touched my shoulder or something by a stranger, completely stranger, which is really annoying, and it's so disrespectful, and it's really bad. It was like you being molested by a stranger, which is really sucks. So from that moment, I said I will never go by bus again in Middle East. So that's why I stopped going to public transportation in Middle East, because I had some horrible experience with that. So unlike here, of course, this people here is kind of like maybe open-minded, and it's like it's a nature of life, I think, here. So going to public transportation, which is also good here. It's way more different, the public transportation here than in Middle East. That's my experience. And of course, the weather versus Middle East and Portugal is kind of way completely different, because you all know Middle East is kind of hell. No, it's not being it, it's just a joke. Middle East is really hot weather, and I really hate hot weather. I suffered a lot, like burning, many things. And the weather here in Portugal is way more peaceful. It's cold on winter, which is also horrible, because I hate winter, I hate cold weather, but it's way more better here. Because summer here is not that so hot unlike in Middle East, and the spring is amazing here, and also autumn like now. So that is the difference of the weather between Portugal and Middle East is really different, which the bottom line, I love the weather in Portugal than Middle East. And of course the restaurants, I think in Middle East they really adopt the American restaurant things, because they have Fridays, Chili's, many American restaurants, which I never seen here in Portugal, which is honestly one of the restaurants that I'm missing, especially the the Fridays, the Chili's, Krispy Kreme. They don't have here in Portugal. That's the best. It's one of the good things that I miss in Qatar and also in Kuwait, because they have those restaurants, and especially the Krispy Kreme, one of my favorite. Tom Hortons, they don't have here. Don't get me wrong, I know Portuguese coffee, Portuguese pastries is the best, but it's just sometimes I'm craving for something. I'm craving for those that I used to eat the Tim Hortons coffee, the Krispy Kreme donuts. Ugh, that's one of my conclusion. That's the thing. Although they do on restaurant, of course, in Middle East they have lots of Middle Eastern restaurant, and don't get me wrong, I don't really like Middle Eastern or Arabic foods. I don't really like much. Although sometimes I like the biryani I like when it's like seafood, and that's the thing. Kebab I don't like much, and those are things. Hummus, I love hummus, but it's just the thing. Restaurants, they adopt in Middle East, they adopt many American restaurants, and here in Portugal I think they're really proud in many Portuguese cuisines. But of course they have to be proud. Portuguese restaurants, Portuguese pastries are the best. It's just I wish they have here Tim Hortons and a Krispy Kreme. So that's my thoughts about restaurants here, the difference of restaurants in Middle East and also in Portugal. Another thing is the natures and also the views. Of course, in Middle East you're gonna see mostly just a desert, although they have a good amazing infrastructures, the buildings, the malls, they have amazing one. And there is one mall in Qatar that I actually never been. In Mall of Qatar, they said it's really huge. I know I promised that I'm gonna go there before I travel here in Portugal, but it never been happen. But anyway, that's only the good things in Middle East. Only the infrastructures, they build a lot of things to be really beautiful. But here in Portugal, in Europe, you're gonna find a natural amazing view. The infrastructures, the natures is way more better here in Portugal. Don't get me wrong, to all Middle Eastern lover, I just really love here in Portugal and Europe mostly. They have much better here, the view, the museums, the natures, the castles, many things you can find here which is really good, way more better than just in a desert. Don't get me wrong. And last but not the least is the residency. So there's a conclusion with that. Residency in Middle East, it will never be happen. Even if I live there for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, I will never be a resident in Middle East, in Kuwait and Qatar and many areas in Middle East. So because they're not giving a residence, even if you give birth there, they will never get a Qatari or Kuwaiti nationality, because whatever, that's the law, the rule in Middle East. Whereas here in Portugal, I can get a nationality, I can be a citizen after 5 or, if I'm not mistaken, after 6 to 10 years, I can get a nationality, which is way more different. And that is one of the reasons I moved here in Portugal from Kuwait and from Qatar. So this is the main reason. Residency, the future is here in Europe. That's the thing. So if you want to travel here in Portugal, any part of globally in the world, the ivisa can help you to process your visa online, because you don't have to have some hassle, you don't have to get a headache to process your visa if you want to travel. Ivisa can help you, and if you want to know anything about this, I will put on the link description below so you can enjoy traveling all over the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you find this video informative and helping to your future travel here in Portugal and any part of Europe. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and smash that bell notification so you will never miss any vlog and tips like this with Magandita.